Hi, my name's Kelly. I've just come back from a long run and I thought I'd just jump on and do a short video and show you my post-run yoga poses. I normally keep it short because when I come back from run I just like to jump in the shower, but actually doing just a really quick session can really help prevent any injuries, and it can actually aid your performance in running. So it's just going to be a short session. So first of all, I'll take my trainers off, give my feet a bit of airing. So first of all, if you come into a tabletop pose, so come into a neutral position and just make sure your shoulders are over your wrists and your hips are over your knees, and just untuck your toes. I'm going to do a couple of cat cows just to warm up your neck, your spine, and also warm up your hips. So on an inhale, just lift your head, drop your belly, lift your tailbone, exhale, drop your head, bring your spine to the sky and tuck your tailbone. So again, inhale, lift your head, drop your belly, lift your tailbone, exhale, bring your head down, lift your spine and tuck your tailbone. And just do a couple more of those in your own time. And then come back to a neutral position. So just untuck your toes, and we're going to come into a downward dog. So just lift your tailbone to the sky, keep your shoulders away from your ears, and if you can, put your feet completely on the floor. This just really helps to stretch those calves. Now on an inhale, I want you to lift your left leg to the sky and then just drop it to the outer aspects of your left hand. If you need to drop that back knee to the floor, if you find it a bit uncomfortable, then please do so. I like to keep it off the floor. Really dig that back heel in so your hips don't sag. Take a few breaths. And then inhale, lift that left knee and drop it down to your left wrist. Drop that back leg to the floor and come into a pigeon pose. Now runners can have a lot of tension in their hips, creating tightness. This is really good flexibility for them. Now if you want a deeper stretch with this, then just bring your forearms down to the mat and drop your torso over your shin and bring your head down to the floor. Just a few more breaths. Now if you're not on your hands already, just bring your hands back up in your arms straight. Untuck that back toes. Inhale and lift that leg up and come back into a downward dog. And let's just walk those feet out a little bit, releasing any tension in your hips. Now we're going to do the same again but on the opposite side. So if you lift that right leg up to the sky, and then just drop it to the outer aspects of your right hand. Drop that back leg to the floor if you need to, if you find it too difficult, or keep up on your toes and really dig that back heel in so your hips don't sag. Take a few breaths. Inhale and just drop that right knee down to your right wrist. Drop that back leg to the floor, untuck your toes. Coming back into pigeon again. So opening these hips can really relieve stress that's transferred down into your knees. Again, if you want that deeper stretch, just bring your forearms down and your torso over your shin. Few more breaths. Again, if you're not on your hands, come back on your hands, bring your arms straight, untuck those back toes, and then you're going to lift your knee off the floor and you can swing back into downward dog again. Again, warm those hips by walking your feet out. Now bring those knees down to the floor. Make sure your toes, your big toes are touching, and then just widen your knees out to the side. So about the length of your mat. Now come down into child's pose. So just bring your hands to the mat and just bring your forehead down to the floor. Or you can also use a bolster or a blanket if you haven't got a bolster or a pillow. You can just bring your arms over and just rest your head down. A few more breaths. And slowly bring yourself back up. Just cross your back feet over and then just tip yourself back into a seated position. We're going to do a couple of supine twists. So if you lie down, these twists are usually good for in the long run as it lengthens your back muscles, relieving any pain. So if you just hug your knees into your chest, inhale. As you exhale, just drop your knees over your left side. And bring your arms out to the side and gaze over to your right. Inhale, come back to centre, hug those knees in. Inhale and exhale, bring those knees over to your right hand side. Again, just bring your arms out and just gaze over your right side. And this is really good for stretching your glutes and your hips, as it's a really troubled area for runners. Inhale, come back to centre, just hug those knees in, exhale. You just widen those hips a little bit, bring your feet up so the resting the ceiling on your feet. And then on the inhale, grip the outer aspects of your feet. Now, if this is too difficult, then you can always hold onto the back of your shins or behind your knees. Try and keep your shoulders and your chin down. Just take a few breaths. It's an excellent hip opener, as your hips can get quite stiff with runners. Inhale, exhale, just hug those knees in and just sway from left to right, just massaging that lower back. When you're ready, just bring your legs down. You're just going to rest in Shavasana for a few minutes. Or if you feel a bit more comfortable, you can always pop a blanket, a pillow, or bolster if you have one, just under your knees. Just helps you relax a bit more. And close your eyes. Now you can stay in this position for as long as you want. Just relaxing. And when you're ready, just come on to whichever side you feel comfortable. And then just bring yourself up slowly into a seated position. So that's my quick short session which I like to do after a long run, and now I can just jump into the shower. Okay, so thank you for joining me. Namaste.